3 Golden Eagles for War Thunder. Link in the description.
I'd be better off all alone.
Hello you sexy beasts, welcome back to War Thunder. This is the Super Pershing, or also known formally as the T26 E1-1/-1. It should be on the screen, never mind. This is an American heavy tank sitting at a build rating of 6.7 and as such fighting it out with some top tier tanks. It's essentially a modification of the M26 medium tank. Quite interesting modifications as well. It gets a long barreled 90mm cannon with a lot of recoil. This is why those springs on the front of the turret are for. In real life this thing would shake the whole tank. Now the long-barreled cannon has less reloads than the regular 90mm M3 cannon that you find on the regular M26. However, it also propulses the shells at a much higher velocity, giving for more penetration. The gun can carry up to 50 rounds and has about a 12.5 second reload time in my current configuration. That's with the tank completely aced, as well as a completely aced crew. Sadly, it does have a lesser RPM than the regular 90mm cannon on the M26, but it more than makes up for it, trust me, as the T34-100 just had to sadly find out. Now, the ammo chests you get with this gun are solid shot AP type, right from get-go, as well as an HE shell. Not very much to say about those. You should ditch the solid shot as soon as you can. The first unlockable shell you can unlock is the APHE type, which has 240mm of penetration at close range and trickles down to 181mm of penetration at 1 km distance. This shell travels at 975 meters per second and has about 140 grams of TNT filler equivalent in the shell. This is your main type of shell you should use at all times, or at least at most times. This thing, once it penetrates, has enough punch, enough explosive power behind it to, if not one-shot the tank, at least cripple it quite badly. The third unlockable shell, yes, the second unlockable shell, which is your final and fourth shell type, is the Apcr Shell, which is sadly a bit underwhelming. It doesn't get that much penetration more than the regular Apcr Shell on the regular M26, with only 270mm of penetration at close range and 231 at 1 km distance. Overall, you should still pack a couple of those in case you fight against heavily armored targets, like the tortoise, for example, that you can't quite take out with your regular APHE shell, but in most cases you are better off with the regular shell. Additionally to these guns, you also get a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun, which is mostly useless but can be used in spotting, and you get that big M250 cal machine gun on the top of the turret. That machine gun can go pretty much all the way around and can be used in anti-air rolls, in spotting rolls, and in taking out lightly armored targets. Let me just quickly interrupt the stats reading here. Whilst I was advancing for the left side of this flank on Berlin here, we sadly did get shot by a King Tiger, but the IS-2 did not see us. I was considering going for his gun barrel, but thankfully he showed us the side of the turret and allowed us to get a side shot in. Now look at how fast this thing reverses. I was going to speak about the armor this thing last, but let me just quickly show you exactly what this tank is about. Now, the M26 by itself isn't the most mobile tank, but it's not too shabby either. This thing sadly does not get a more powerful engine. The engine is the same one as on the regular M26. However, it gets much more armor, which makes the tank overall a lot heavier as well. As such, it has worse acceleration, worse hull traverse, but interestingly, the reverse speed is still quite good. 11 km per hour reverse speed in max, with quite a good acceleration. It actually accelerates faster backwards than forwards. Now the armor plates, the extra armor plates on this tank are borrowed from the Panther tank. Yes. Essentially the Americans at the genius of the year just scrapping German Panther tanks that were defeated in battle, and why not put the armor on your already existing tanks? Yes! Now, the turret front has the regular 100mm of gun-mantled armor on the bottom, as well as the 80mm armor plate on top, making for a total of about 200mm of armor. Bear that in mind when I say that the turret is actually the weak spot of this tank. Yes! Now the plate in some areas counts as spaced armor as well, making it pretty much invulnerable to HASH, heat shells and HE shells, which is quite nifty. The hull of this tank is... Okay, get this. You have the regular 100mm plate sloped, the regular 100mm upper plate. On top of that you have a 38mm plate that is even more angled, and on top of that another 38mm plate that is even more angled. The total thickness flat is about 176mm. However, due to the sloping of all those plates, it makes up for a total, get this, total effective thickness of 270mm on the upper glacis. This thing is almost impenetrable. And to add insult to injury, since all those plates are spaced apart, they are impenetrable by heat shells. Heat shells just don't go through the hull armor, which is quite nifty. It is very much quite nifty. You know, this is one of those rare American tanks that has better hull armor than it has turret armor. Up until now, your grind should have been hull armor pretty weak, turret armor quite good, which would make this these kinds of tanks very good in cresting hills. This tank, yes, to some degree, however there are some problems with the turret. Since the flat part just to the sides of the gun are only 200mm thick, which at this tier isn't really a problem. Pretty much anything can penetrate through that. And also the gun guidance is only between -8 and 20 degrees. You have a 24.0 degree per second turret rotation, which is actually quite good. But since that massive 12.7mm machine gun on top kind of gives your position away, this tank is not very fit for cresting hills. The T32 definitely does a better job at that. You should use this tank more in a city combat situation. If you can, try to lure the enemy into shooting your hull. By the way, don't try to angle this tank. This is one of the tanks that you definitely do not want to angle. The side hull, the hull armor is only 76mm thick on the sides, as well as only 100mm on the frontal sides of the turret. You can't even angle the turret of this thing without getting penetrated. Alright, so in the first one, in our first respawn, we got a couple of tanks, but sadly got taken out by that IS-3. Now, I'm a man of revenge. I do not let myself get taken out by Russian bears. So, I came back to go after that guy. However, we have a T-44 on our flank. Now, I was being supported by a couple of our teammates, but our team is dying off. If you can look at the map on the bottom right, you see that whilst we do have the A flag, we are about to lose that one. And the left flank isn't looking too well either. There are currently about 2 or 3 tanks just ahead of me, and we don't quite know the exact position of them yet. We know there's an IS-3 that killed me earlier, and we know there's a T-44. Now the IS-3 is a tank that I really don't want to face from the front. Even with APCR, that thing is very tough to... Oh shit. He's not looking this way, he's not looking this way, get his tracks! Go forward, nope, no, he's turning, Back! T-44 bounces on a hull. Oh, that was lucky. I think that IS-3 had his third ring damage and he bounces off us, presenting us the side hull armor just below just above the tracks. One shot goes in, and the 90mm shell does the rest. That's the beauty of the explosive filler of the 90mm shell. It one-shots. T-44 out of friends tries to run away, but it ain't happening. 2 kills, 2 shells in the space of 2 minutes. 1 minute even. And we took revenge on the IS-3. I'm a happy man now. Now, all that armor sadly has an effect on the mobility as we've discovered before. The engine is the same one as on the regular M26 with 500 horsepower. However, the tank itself weighs almost 50 tons, giving the tank a power-to-weight ratio of only 10 horsepower per ton, which is quite bad. It is quite bad. Now, if you get up to speed, it can get up to a quite decent speed. There's a top speed of 40 km/h, which is good. It is very good. The problem is getting up to those speeds. Any kind of maneuvers you do to the left or right, starting from standing still, crashing hills, this thing just lacks the engine power of throwing it around. You definitely have to treat it more like a heavy tank than what you are used to in the M26. Our flag isn't looking too good. We lost most of our teammates there. That's a King Tiger. Ooh, beautiful shot through the side of the turret. Takes out his ammo rack. And it was a 105 as well. That's a dangerous opponent down. That thing is dangerous. The 105 might actually have the gun to penetrate that on the turret at longer ranges. Now, the Super Pershing has a couple of tanks that it doesn't have to worry about. Stuff like 85mm Russian guns like on the T44 or the T34-85. They're pretty much immune against those. Even other 90mm guns from if you do ever face American tanks, you're pretty much safe against those. Hash shells, heat shells, HE shells, you're almost invulnerable to all of those. However, there is one gun that can mess you up quite bad. And that gun is the 128mm Pak 43 on the Jagd Tiger. Oh god. The lumbering beast has arrived. Now, I've had experiences with this tank before. The first game was an amazing game. Sadly, I didn't record it, so I didn't feel like using the replay system again. This game was up after a couple of games where it went quite badly for me. The tank itself is very good, but yeah, if your team sucks, you don't really have much of a choice. And I've learned to fear the Jagd Tiger. The Jagd Tiger is pretty much immune to your fire. Even with Apcr shells, you're going to have trouble penetrating that thing from the front. He, however, with a 128mm gun, he will have no problem penetrating your turret. As my buddy in the Centurion Mark Fun sadly just had to find out, I'm now all alone against this Jagd Tiger. Now, I'm not stupid enough to crest my my turret too much, because this guy is going to be aiming me, and if he hits me, I'm dead. However, can you see, due to the position of the machine gun, it is usually in firing over cover. Pretty much my entire tank is concealed behind the ruins of this wall, bunker, I'm not even quite sure. However, since the machine gun is so highly elevated, I can just keep this guy spotted. Now, I did kill his tracks early, he's probably still repairing his tracks, but at least I can spot him for my teammates in the aircraft. I'm currently the only tank left on the ground, well, except for my buddy in the Centurion Mark 10 who died and respawned in an AA vehicle, but it's an AA vehicle, not really a tank. What can you do? The enemy currently has the A flag, but look at the points. We are very close to winning this game. Pretty much the only thing we have to do is kill a couple more tanks. Now, so I am the only one here, and I still don't know where half of the enemy team is. I do not want to sit here while the Jagd Tiger spots me, so I put a shot into his tracks, hoping that my teammates can finally get some bombs on him, but that doesn't happen. You know, for having 4 aircraft in the air, you would expect some better air support, but this isn't the first time they're going to fire. Spoiler alert. Right, with the Jagd Tiger tracked, I try to make my way through the ruined city on the left side of the map. Now I have to be very careful here. Whilst the frontal armor of this tank is very good, the side armor is not so much. So I want to make sure that whatever I face, I see it first and I put my frontal armor towards whatever I face then. Carefully going through. Now the enemy probably knows where I am. That Jagd Tiger has spotted me for the longest time, so they know my general area. Oh man, this is tense. This is tense. At the moment I was playing this, my heart was just beating. Last tank on the ground, currently on 7 kills. Oh shit, that's a Panther! Panic! Panic! Whew. That was actually quite lucky. That guy did not put his shot effectively into me and only took up my engine, without even setting it on fire. Had all the time in the world to retribute the fire, put one through his gunner, his third ring is down, put another one through his track so that he can't go back. And now I can just pretty much work him over. But where did the Jagdtiger go? I'm debating between putting one through his turret and putting one from the lower glacis. Sadly, it bounces off the lower glacis and he just gets his gunner back up. Oh shit, that's racist fire. That's another tank. Okay, let's fall back. Let's work this Panther over again. His gunner just went up, so we take this gunner down once again. He still survives due to the new one last man standing mechanics. The only crew member he has left alive is the driver now. His turret is pretty much completely dead, which sadly means I can't really kill him right now. Oh shit, that's the Jagdtiger. Oh shit. Honestly, I am scared shitless of these things. That thing is the nemesis of this tank. I have to mobilize it. Alright. Hide my hull, hide my turret, get one into his track. And my teammates fell again! That's a stationary Jagdtiger and they failed to drop their bombs on him. Alright, both of his tracks down. It was actually a tense moment there. He's now unable to turn around. Good, now I have all the time in the world to work him over. Whilst he's repairing, try to get this sneaky shot into this Panther. Sadly, the reload rate lets me down. Another failed bombing run. The Jagdtiger is still alive. But he has no chance now. Both tracks are down. He's a tank destroyer, so he doesn't get a turret. Put one into his driver, and he is down. Oh, and look! The Panther is waiting for us. Ah, man, I gotta say, these Germans are very polite. They're just very polite. They wait for you to finish them off. And as such, we finished the game. My heart was pounding there. And that's the end result. 9 kills in the Super Pershing on Berlin. And a Mission Maker medal on top of that. We apparently got the first kill and the last kill as well. Cool. I didn't get too many civilians, but actually quite a lot of research points. Now, of course, this is a premium account, so that is to be expected. Now, what can I say about the Super Pershing? It's quite enjoyable, I gotta say. It's really a breath of fresh air. I can't even remember if there's any other tank that's immune to heat shells the way this thing is. This thing can actually work on top tier battles if you face something like the Leopards, since most of them either carry heat or HES shells. There's actually a serious chance that you're completely immune against Leopards, which is awesome. It's actually honestly awesome. So to recap, the T26E1-1. American heavy tank, definitely deserves a battle rating. I have no problem with the 6.7 battle rating. It can hold its own against most opponents. It's a bit slow, but it compensates for that with amazing armor. The gun isn't the best around, the reload rate is mediocre, but it is all around very good. That's the thing. The best way I can describe this tank is just, it's all around very good. It has good mobility, good gun, it's good. It's just a good tank. Now guys, tell me in the comments down below what your experiences have been with or against the Super Pershing. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like rating, and if you disliked, you can also dislike. If you're new on this channel, you can hit that subscribe button with the tip of your massive cannon barrel. My name has been MikeGoesBoom. Thank you very much for watching.